It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. Happy Halloween. Oh, darn it. Let me get the combination correct here. I seem to be having a problem with that. Okay, let me get to work on pulling this gearbox apart on this spreader. So yesterday it sheared a second pin. I had about a ton left in the spreader when it sheared this second pin here. So I'm going to pull this all apart and have it ready so when I get the new parts I can slap it back on there and be ready to spread some more. All right, let's get this done. I think this is going to be the most fun part of the whole process, and that is getting this spinner off of here. It appears I have tried this once before. So there's 3 bolts holding this clamp. Well, I guess what it does, well, I'm not really sure what it does, but 3 bolts go through this thing down onto here. I think it pulls this up to tighten it up on the shaft. I'm not sure. And it appears I have sheared 2 bolts off. What you do is you take these bolts out, screw 2 bolts in to force this off of here in order to loosen this up. So here's the spinner we have not done anything with, but these 2 holes are threaded to screw something down to force it all off. And it appears those have been wrung off because I've tried this before. I did spray it with some PB Blaster yesterday evening before I left here so it can kind of soak in there. But I'm sure I will be putting some heat on it. I don't know what I'm going to do there. I don't quite have enough to put vice grips on there to try to twist it out. So I'll take these 3 off, put some heat on it, maybe take some chisels or wedges of some type to go in between there and get a BFH and see what I can accomplish here. That light is pretty darn annoying with that buzzing sound. I don't know if my other trouble light will reach this far. But let me get to this. Before I go too much further, I think I'll pull the gearbox off and put a pin through this shaft so this spinner does not spin freely on me. Otherwise, I'm going to bust my fingers up. I have determined that I do have a seal leaking on this gearbox, so I did get a couple of seals the other day. So while I am pulling this all apart, I will put a new seal in it. There's the bolt. It is in 3 pieces there that it has sheared off. Well, okay, that is off, but I don't know if that is the bearing that's gone or the shaft that is worn. So what I've got to do now is go underneath of here, pull the shaft that connects the 2 gearboxes off in order to yank this gearbox off. Not sure, I may not have to yank the gearbox off of there to replace it all, although I do have to replace the seal that's on this side. Let me keep digging here. This is the back side of the gearbox, and you can see the drip there. The seal is leaking on this side, so I've got a clip. They've got a wire going around here holding this screw in here that holds this shaft, or this this PTO shaft that connects this other gearbox. That set screw is holding that on there. I've got to cut that and then back this off. It's going to slide on here. There's another set screw on this side. I'll cut this wire here as well, loosen that, slide it off. From doing this previously, I think I'm going to have to take the grease fitting off of the yoke on the inside in order for this to shove back far enough to get that seal out of there. And I guess while I'm at it, I should probably replace this seal as well. Oh heck, the camera cut off at some point. I'm not sure at what point, but I've got this off of there now. This was the easy side because this had come loose last week, so I was under here tightening everything up, so this was all loose. I've not had this side off, so it's going to be a little bit more difficult to take off, I believe, but we'll see. Let me spray that and let it sit a while. I don't have the proper tools for this job. But I got it out even without the proper tools. After studying the parts diagram, trying to figure out the best way to remove that shaft, whether I should bring it up out of the top or drop it down through the bottom, I think the best thing for me to do is to drop it down through the bottom. because the seal on the bottom is bad anyway. That seal is probably okay. And because of the clip on the inside, the snap ring on the inside, I think I'm going to go from the bottom. I'll pull that seal out of the bottom. Then there's supposed to be an snap ring on there holding all of that in place. And then once I take that snap ring out, it should just fall out, or maybe a couple taps on the top of the shaft, and everything should come out of there. So let me give that a try. All right, I got it started. Let's see if I can continue it around. Aha. Aha. Almost got it. All right, finally. That shouldn't have been that hard. Okay, I'm gonna need another hand. I've got the shaft down as far as the gear that has come through the bearing on the top, but I need another hand to hold this shaft straight in order to continue banging it down through that gear. So I'll have to wait for Jeffrey to get off work and come down here and give me a hand at this. But you can see, let me get the light up here. You can see how much that shaft is wore. There's that hole there. It's supposed to look like that, but it looks like that, and of course it's worn on the gear. When it shears that pin, has worn that shaft as well. I'm just about at the end of what I can do here, and then it's waiting on the parts and putting it back together.